everyone.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
I am so excited. I know I'm kind of jumping around. But before we get into anything, thank you guys again for joining us. Thank you, friends.
Yes.
Another week.
Hey, don't forget to like this channel.
Like us.
Yes. Subscribe to the channel, actually.
Subscribe.
Like the video. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. And like us on Facebook.
And share.
Us.
Yes.
Listen, I am very excited today. You do not want to miss this. We have a very, very special guest on the show today. We have Portsmouth's Commonwealth attorney, mother of four, wife, and author of the great book, The Day I Became a Lawyer, Miss Stephanie Morales.
Hi, Sister Queen.
Hi. Hey, thank you all for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate your time, the time you took to come here to join us today.
Right. But before we start, fun fact, right?
A fun fact.
You guys went to school together.
We did.
Right? Tell us a little bit about that. It was a high school, elementary school. At what level do you guys cross paths?
High school.
High school. Yeah. And look at us now, all grown up.
I know. Stephanie and I shared a class together. It was dual enrollment government.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
nice.
And this was Norcom High School, right?
This was IC Norcom.
Gotta keep them
Fellow
proud.
Yeah. It couldn't be wrong.
Right.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you everyone for coming. This is going to be a very insightful episode, I believe. Yeah. We have beautiful, smart, insightful, intelligent Miss Stephanie with us today. And
yes.
I think we have some questions for her. We want to learn more about Stephanie.
Yes. So I'll jump in. I'll ask, with everything that transpired in our country, with
oh my goodness,
yes, our newly elect Vice President Kamala Harris being the first woman to hold that position and the first woman of color to hold that position. With you being Portsmouth first Commonwealth attorney to hold that position, right? And woman of color. How does that resonate with you, seeing what happened in our country?
Oh my goodness. So, I have to say, I have been a Kamala supporter since day one. And not a lot of people know that. Everybody is on this train now because they understand what this means for Black women and young girls in our country. But I was a supporter of Kamala and on the campaign trail with her for her presidential run. And so I have believed in her for a lot longer than, her path to being vice president. So for me personally, this is somebody who I invested my time in, somebody who I thought very highly of to potentially lead our entire nation from the highest office. So it really means a lot to me as an individual person to see her transcend that presidential run and now be our vice president-elect. And then just as a woman, yes, I'm the first woman elected in the Commonwealth attorney position in Portsmouth, but to have, daughters, and not just daughters, but sons, because she's also the first Black vice president that we're going to have. My dog is losing his mind. So, she's not only the first woman vice president, but she's going to be the first Black vice president as well. So she is just an inspiration to all of us. And I'm very proud of her as a woman, as a wife, as Mamala, and just very, very proud of what she represents for our nation. And it speaks to, not just the hatred that we've seen for so long and so much of the nasty rhetoric for the past 4 years, but this is a turning point, and I believe we won the battle for the soul of our nation. So I'm very proud, very happy on so many different levels to see our sister Kamala Harris get ready to lead our nation in a way that no other Black woman has before.
Okay. Now, I do have a follow-up question in understanding or learning about your connection with Kamala. Kamala, I'm sorry, with Kamala. First, wait, because now we gotta get used to we gotta get used to this.
And it's like comma.
No. I know. No, it's, sometimes I think about
okay.
my niece naming. I get it all messed up. No, but vice president. Mm-hmm. So we call her first lady. No, that's not the first lady. How do we refer
vice
to
president, Madam Vice President?
Madam Vice President, right? Yeah, she will be our vice president. Yes. And her husband, I believe, is going to be the first second gentleman.
Yes.
First second gentleman.
He also is Jewish as well. So this is again, like this is just a representation of an exciting time for our entire country. And she's the first Asian vice president, the first woman, the first Black vice president. I mean, this is just representative of so much. But yes, she will be our vice president.
Yeah. Right. It's just something new that I know a lot of us are gonna have to get used to it. It's exciting. It's so exciting. But again, it's something new. But what I wanted to ask you, being that you are so close to her, is what share with us one thing that you, from your heart, really admire from our vice president. And the reason why I'm asking this question is because when you stated that from the beginning, even prior to, you were always there with her, you admire her, you supported her. And for me, it has been kind of like a process of learning. I support that she's the first woman in this position. I support that she's the first sister, Black, Asian. She represents so much. But I had some contradicting, I guess, information, and I believe that a lot of people were in that situation about her character that was put out there. So can you share with for those who may still have doubts about who she is and what she represents, not just as a woman, not just as a Black woman, but as someone in power, that you think she's going to be able to bring to the table to continue to move us forward?
Man, so it's really hard to give you one thing with the way you presented that question. So I won't even try. I will have to say that, there is this movement now, this progressive prosecutor movement. And, I consider myself to be a progressive prosecutor, but what that means basically is that you are reform minded. You are in favor of moving towards decarceration, which means ending mass incarceration. And you put people first as a public servant and not convictions first. And so, a lot of people want to look at Kamala Harris's record as a prosecutor and say very negative things about the work that she did as a prosecutor. The problem is you have to pay attention to where this information is coming from.
Yeah.
And there is true evidence to suggest, and I would say, and I will send you guys the link later, but there was an article that put it better than I ever could that was from one of the chief public defenders in the area where she was prosecutor. Traditionally, somebody who was on the opposite end, who said that way back when Kamala Harris was prosecuting, way before there was any quote unquote progressive prosecutor movement, she was the most progressive prosecutor in the state of California as Attorney General. She had programs in place, a lot like the programs that I have in place now for the community, to try to really think about, again, approaching helping people and not just incarcerating. But again, this is somebody who ran the largest prosecutor's office in the country next to the Department of Justice. And there's a lot of unfair criticism that our white counterparts, that our white woman counterparts, that our Black men counterparts, they did not have to endure. And so I watched this woman endure attacks that were unfair attacks, negative things that were not true, that were never corrected by the media when the corrections were put out. And I watched her be kind. I watched her to continue to be a warrior, but still a kind warrior. And to just show us a picture of joy in the face of attacks. And again, that is something that I 100% can relate to. As the first woman to be elected Commonwealth attorney in the city of Portsmouth, I have faced a lot of unfair attacks. I have faced a lot of criticism as I have tried to do the work of the people, and it has not stopped me from doing what I do and still maintaining my joy and my freedom. So I relate to all of that. I admire all of that. I respect that. And that is why I was down with her, riding with her. And I was not the only person, who understood the truth about her. And I'm glad to be able to share that with you guys tonight.
Awesome, beautiful. I think it's important for people to hear
yeah.
and know these things. Thank you.
Yes. So as leadership changed in the country, what can we expect out of the leadership in your office?
Wow. So, interestingly, the leadership in my office is going to continue to do the same thing that we've been doing. And this is a good point to talk about why local elections matter. Because while there's a lot of power in the ability of the presidential, the presidential candidates, the president, our vice president elect, our president elect, they have a lot of power with the executive decisions that they can make. But on the local level, that doesn't affect my ability to govern my office in the way that I traditionally have. So we have to pay very close attention to what we're doing on the local level while we're also focusing on the presidential election and all the other elections in between. So for me, I'm going to continue to do the same things that I've been doing, pushing for reform, trying to decriminalize and some of the things that we've traditionally incarcerated people for that doesn't make us any safer. Engaging with young people, our Future Leaders Initiative. I know you know a lot about that program. I've had an opportunity to engage with your baby. And then, working on our programs that help people who have been impacted by the criminal legal system, who've been incarcerated, helping them re-enter, really just trying to take a holistic approach to address every single thing that I can, from food, ending food insecurity, thinking about how we address the lack of housing opportunities, and then finally, just thinking about how we invest in our community. I work in the criminal legal system, but that is not the only thing that we have to address to really see improvement in our society. Yes, it's a major component. Shrinking this system, putting myself and everybody else in this system out of work is the goal. But we have to look at every single thing that we can do. And that means that because I'm a prosecutor and I'm elected to do this, that doesn't mean that that's all I will do. I will continue to assess and reassess what the needs of the community are and readjust as often as necessary to provide all of the services that I have the ability to provide in the schools, in the prisons, in the, anywhere in between. I will do everything that I can to see our community succeed.
Awesome. That's so great to hear. And you mentioned about the programs that you do with youth. And one of there are a lot. You have like your Control Alt Delete program that you do with the criminal justice system, and a lot of programs with the youth. And I was reading that you and your office formed the Social Media by Statutes program, where you go inside of the school system as well. I thought that was very awesome and neat. And I just wanted to know from that, why is it so important to you to engage our youth?
Wow. So look at what was happening with this presidential election. We saw so many pictures of young people looking at TVs, young people crying, young people really engaged with this process, including my children. They knew what was going on. They told me who they were voting for, all kinds of stuff. But they really, truly are the ones who will lead us. This is not something right now. We are working with what was left to us, and we need to leave a legacy for our children that they can take and move us even further. So, we can't start trying to change our society with all adults. We have to look to the future, and it's really important to not only engage with them so that they understand what the ramifications can be of certain behaviors, and that's what Social Media by the Statutes is about, is helping them understand what the laws are so that they don't run into problems. But we have to really move beyond that and help them see their potential and understand what they can become. And again, having representation at every level. Yes, they see who our future vice president is going to be, but they also need to know there are leaders in our community who are here, to ensure that our community succeeds. I can be that for our community in the future. I can be that wherever I choose to go in the future if I so desire. So that's what it's all about. It's about, one, keeping them on the right track, helping them understand how important they are to us, and then ultimately making sure that they understand fully that they are supported and that, they can truly do whatever they desire to do as long as they put in the work.
Awesome. So that was
Awesome.
that's awesome. That's really important. It's very important for our community to know two things um, that we believe is important for our community, for our neighbors to know, and is that elections that is just doesn't happen every 4 years. So we have to be engaged. We have to be involved in appointing the officials within our own communities. And I'm so glad that you touched on that, and also on the youth and how important it is to engage in, not to wait, because there are a lot of programs out there that those programs are triggered once there is a problem, right? But why are we not addressing those issues before they even become an issue? Why are we not addressing these concerns before
That's
they
right.
become a problem, before they get to your office?
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's really, really, I'm really glad to know that you and your office are actually doing those things to touch the lives of these young people before they come to your office.
Absolutely. And I was going to say that just falls in line with what we do. Our 9
The
to
mental
8,
health.
8 to 4, the mental health side of what we do, that just really embodies the philosophy of what we stand on, and the approach we take to each individual and each family that we serve is that we feel that individuals can thrive when they feel confident, connected, and cared for. And I'm so glad to hear that that is what your office is portraying and giving to our community.
And that is so important to
Very
you.
important.
Thank you for what you do.
And thank you all for what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. So let's see. I think we kind of know about Stephanie as the attorney, right? So tell us a little bit about what we may not know about Stephanie. Like, so how is Stephanie as the mother and wife?
Oh my gosh. So I am, my kids are my number one, and family is my number one. And there are little signals of this, even that cross over into the elected process. Like, for example, my family and I did like a music video, a rap video, a few years back.
Yeah.
And there were some people like on the political end who, now I would say overwhelmingly our community was supportive. Our city was supportive 100% of me and what I wanted to do with my family. But there were some people who said, oh, you're a politician, you shouldn't be rapping, or you shouldn't be whatever. I don't care about that. Like, when it comes to my family, if there's something I want to do for or with my family, that's what I'm going to do. So I have been for years the team mom. When my sons were playing football, I was a team mom. I was bringing the snacks, I was bringing the drinks. I coached soccer one year. I go to my daughter's tennis practices and I collect the balls so that their practice runs faster. I am 100% there to see my children, not just as scholars or whatever, but just as individuals. I want them to be happy people,
Right.
well-rounded people. So I was out yesterday I try to have a healthy balance of doing things that I want to do. So I was out walking and running yesterday, and then I came in and I cooked dinner because that's what my husband likes and my sons, they like, even though I don't like to cook.
Yeah.
That's, I try to balance and do the things that, my family needs, but then also I do the things that I want to do. So I love to read. And that's why, my love of reading, I talk to children and I wrote the book, and I'm sure we'll get to that briefly. But, I like I do the things, like I love to read fantasy books. I like reading about dragons and magic and all kinds of stuff. A lot of people wouldn't guess that. But I make time to do that for myself. I make time to do that. I make time to get outside. I like being outside. So it really, everything that I'm doing for the community, yes, I love my community. Yes, I want to see us all succeed. But if I don't serve my family, and if I don't make sure that my family is good, and if my children aren't straight, I can't think straight. So I truly, I'm a mom first, like, and I am a family person first. And then, after that, like, I'm very unapologetic too about who I am as a woman. And I really try to, impress upon our young people, do not allow anybody to have you compromising who you are as a person. Because I could live with the results of an election. I could live with results of, anything going how I may not desire for it to go, but I can't live with being somebody other than who I am, or compromising who I am as a person for any particular reason. So I'm big on that, like knowing who you are, doing what you enjoy, so that you can live with yourself at the end of the day.
That's
Right,
awesome.
right.
Go ahead.
Will you agree or disagree that when someone is in a position of power, or in a position as the position that you are, that as a society we think that they are no longer humans, or that they are unnatural, because all of the things that you said are things that we do, but you were being criticized for supporting your children or doing some of those things.
I was just you took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to say, you described so many women, right, across the country and in the world, that's just how we, that's just so many women. That's who I am. That's who I know her to be. So that's just how relatable you are, that's just what it is. You describe people all over. Yeah.
And yeah, so I do agree with you that yes, people do expect for you to morph into something when you are elected. Either they expect that you're supposed to be some kind of robot that works however they want you to work, or they have whatever their perceptions are. But I think what we have to do is we have to leave room for people to be who they are. And we want to choose someone to serve us, and key word is serve, because elected officials, you should be a public servant. You're not up on some high horse or pedestal. You are a servant. So yes, we do serve at the pleasure of the people, but what people should be looking for is someone who will provide good governance,
right,
and someone who is aligned with their values. And so my values, I put them on the table. Like, everything that I've done, when I said I was going to be pushing for the decriminalization of marijuana, when I said I was going to be fighting for police accountability, when I said that I was going to be, thinking about how to reform, I was going to be engaging with youth and those who had been previously convicted. I said all of that before I ran in 2017. And I even was talking about that in 2015. So I have made very clear what my values were and what I was going to be working for. And when the people elected me, to me, they said, all right, there's your mandate for you to do all the things that you told us that you would do. So that's why I did them. That's why I did them, because my values and what I believed in align with what the people wanted in a leader. And that's what people should be looking for, not to tell somebody how to act, how to dress, how to wear their hair, what they can do with their family or what they can't do, whether they should rap or whatever. Like, no, you want me as a person because I align with your values and you feel that will be good governance. And that's where I draw the line. You don't get to say who I am as a woman.
Right.
Awesome.
Do you think it's different for women? The expectations may be different from women than for men?
Yeah, absolutely. There is, misogyny is rampant. There is, I have experienced a lot of criticism and different, I can draw a complete comparison because my predecessor was a man. He was a white man. And, there were different things that I was asked by different people. And, some of these people came from the Black community. Some of these people came from the journalist community. Just all different.
Hey,
hi.
Hi.
Stephanie the mom.
Yes.
Okay. Go. So there is, I have experienced these different things, questions that were asked, and I've asked the question, did you present this to my predecessor? Did you ask this of my predecessor? And the answer was no. And so people felt comfortable asking me things or challenging things that they were willing to admit that they did not ask of my predecessor or challenge of my predecessor, where it was the exact same thing, and that's not okay with me. It's not okay with me that we have to deal with misogyny. There's also this concept called misogynoir, where it's not just this misogyny, but there's a special type of misogyny and hatred where you're dealing with misogyny as a woman and racism as a Black woman. So there are lots of things that we have to deal with as women. But that's another reason, I will talk briefly about the book, the children's book, The Day I Became a Lawyer. Why, that book it's a children's book. It's my story. It's about how I decided that I was going to become a lawyer at the age of 6. I was very young. And I tell this story to young people that I engage with all the time. It runs through my story and how I decided I wanted to do it. But it's really, the book is about expanding the reach of who we can tell that story to ensure that, again, people see themselves in me. And it's not just for young girls, it's for young men as well. It's not just for young ladies, it's for young men as well, because it's really about, one, making sure that young women know what they can accomplish, but two, we need young men to see that as well, but we also need to have an understanding among our young men and our young women that we are all able to achieve. And our young men at a very early age need to respect the young ladies as well. Right. And so if we raise gentlemen right, we won't be dealing with these misogyny issues.
That's right.
That's right.
So that's how it ties. I know y'all were like, where's she going with the book with that? But no, like, we need to be thinking about how we are raising our young men and that we are teaching them to be respectful of the leadership and the aspirations of our young women as well. Yes. So this is a multifaceted attack. We want to make sure we encourage our young people. I want to share my story. I want to, I worked on this. This was another family project. But this is also multi-layer. It's multi-layer. It is really supposed to inspire in several different levels.
Awesome. You answered a lot of our questions that were coming up because we really wanted to hear about the book.
That was going to be the next topic.
Yes, and Shanequa put me to it. So she ordered one for me. We forgot it at home today.
Yeah.
But please tell everyone where can we find your book? Because yes.
There you go. Put it up.
Put it up. Let's see the picture because I love that picture.
It's fantastic. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it has an amazing, another Black woman illustrator.
Yes. So tell us where we can find the book.
Yeah, so if you Google The Day I Became a Lawyer, it will pop up, or you can go to Amazon. Amazon Prime has it. So The Day I Became a Lawyer, you just put that in your Amazon search or in Google, it'll pop right up. And it comes really fast.
It does. It does. So everyone, this is a great stocking stuffer to give, a gift to give to your little ones.
Yeah, Christmas is coming.
Christmas is coming.
Yeah. An intellectual gift, because we have to continue to feed those little minds because those minds are going to grow and they're going to become, as you mentioned before, our leaders. So we need to start them young. Something that I love. I mean, I love your book, but I have to say that cover gets me every time. And it's because I have an 8-year-old and she wears two pop-ups, like we call them up here.
Yeah.
And she starts just like, Mommy, look. Just like me. And again, it was one of those reinforcement, like how so many other girls, and I'm Dominican, and I even to have even my children who are half Dominican and half African American to be able to relate.
Yeah.
And to be able to find a connection with women in power, women in power who are working and fighting to bring equity, equality, to have an impact on systemic racism. That's awesome, and that's what we want to teach our children.
Absolutely. So I guess a final thought before we move into a more fun section. The final thought is, what advice would you offer to our little Black girls in terms of them following their dreams?
Oh my gosh. I don't think I have enough time. So first of all, I have to say to our little Black girls, you are queens, you are beautiful. You are everything, and this world is yours. That is the one thing I need them to know. This world is yours, and you can be whatever you want to be. And you have so many people who love you and believe in you, people who you don't even know, who are praying for you and who are fighting for you right now, because there is, right now, I'm doing what I do. Kamala Harris, our future vice president, is doing what she does to create a legacy for you to walk into. She said it. She is the first, but she will not be the last. I am the first, but I will not be the last. We are laying the foundation right now as the foundation was laid for us. So I want all our little young Black girls, including my daughters, your daughters, I want them to know, you are so loved. You are, we are anticipating your success. We are anticipating what you will do. And you truly can do anything, because the levels and the heights that we have reached, you can exceed. You can supersede. So I truly don't have enough time, but I just want them to know that they are so loved, and we are so ready to see what they will do, and that they truly can do anything. And we have their back. I have their back. I know you ladies have their back. They have an army of Black women supporting what they will become.
Right. And our young boys and young men to be supportive, right? Like you mentioned before, to be respectful and supportive.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. We need more second gentlemen and first gentlemen.
Right.
And our young Black girls become the future vice president and president of the United States.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Great message.
Great
message.
Yes. So I don't know if you had the opportunity to watch and to know that we do a Would You Rather.
You told me about it. So
I did. So this is the time where I get to ask you and Mercedes both would you rather questions. She always gives me a very hard time.
So this is the time when we have a guest where I can just sit back and not answer enough questions.
No, you're gonna answer. Okay. So you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Stephanie, would you rather be able to read someone's mind or control their mind?
See, I'm not the only one. That's exactly the face I made.
You're gonna answer too.
I don't want to do either. I know. So I'm not well behaved when it comes to fit me into a box on my answers.
Really? This is a game.
Thank you.
I don't want to do.
Finally.
I don't want to do either.
This is a game.
See?
Which one?
Finally, I found someone who thinks like I do. I have been having this argument since the beginning of this because I can just answer. You cannot just give me two options. It's just not enough.
But if you only had two options, which option is the better choice for you?
Well, it could be one of those two, but even within that option, there's so much that comes with that. And that's just
why did you condone her? No, we're not condoning this behavior. Let me give you another
City
one.
attorney agrees with
Yeah,
me.
go to the next question.
Let me give you another one, Stephanie. Would you rather eat a dead bug or a live worm? See, you wouldn't answer the first one. You get harder. Would you rather?
I don't want to.
I know you don't want to do it. I know in real life we would, disclaimer, in real life we would never do any of these things, y'all. But
I don't know. Sometimes you ask some questions and I have to wonder like, yo, what is this girl into?
would you rather a dead bug or a live worm?
That was worse than the last question. I think I'm gonna take the last question for 200. Okay, that's terrible.
I am loving this.
Would you, y'all don't.
You
don't
are
do
welcome
that
to this
segment
show
like that.
whenever you want.
Okay, would you rather read someone's mind or control their mind?
I would rather read someone's mind than control their mind.
Thank you. Would you?
Because then I can just walk away from you if I don't like what you're thinking about. I ain't trying to control nobody though.
Exactly. I don't want to
Right.
control anything because that falls into manipulation and all that other stuff. Well, I don't got time for that. Would you rather? This is good. This is good. This is going to be good. Would you rather save your country from an invasion or from a terrible disease?
Wow. You went there.
I went there.
This sounds real. Cause like, aren't we dealing with that right now?
Right.
Would you
Right.
rather?
And I don't want to choose neither one because I don't want to be blamed if something goes.
All right. No one's
I
gonna
mean,
blame you.
We're in the middle of a terrible disease.
We are.
We're in the middle of a health pandemic,
So it
a
seems
virus.
like you probably would want to save us from an invasion then, right? Because we should have people working on this terrible disease, right?
I mean, we should have people
We
working.
will come January.
If you had the power, which would you choose?
You can't choose between. So as a public servant, you can't ask me to choose. But like I would need to say from
But this
both.
is
I
not
think
the public servant talking. This is
Well,
staffing.
but as a regular person, I feel that you shouldn't ask me those questions neither.
Y'all are dismantling my segment. Okay, okay, here's one. Next.
got another one. Yeah.
Would you rather live without your phone for 2 weeks or your computer for a month? What's the problem?
I can do the computer for a month because I can do everything from my phone.
Your phone.
Thank you. All right. All right. Now you can think of this in terms of a spouse, significant other, or a best friend. I don't know. Would you rather get matching piercings or matching tattoos?
Piercing. I don't have any tattoos. Yeah.
Okay.
My husband and I don't have. Neither one of us have tattoos.
Oh wow, me either. Same.
Yeah.
Is there a reason behind it, or you just don't not into it?
No, I just not. Yeah. You know, there's too much stuff to get for one. So unless I want to cover, like
y'all indecisive. You can't decide. How can you decide to put a tattoo on you?
I have a tattoo. It took me 20 years to decide what I wanted, but I wouldn't do matching tattoos with my husband.
No, yeah, I'm not doing that.
So you would do piercing? So
no, I'm not. Depending where is the piercing going. Where am I piercing myself?
Last one. Would you rather your neighbors to be noisy or nosy?
Noisy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stay on my face.
Which one?
My face.
Wait, how loud are they though? Like, how much noise are they actually making?
See what I'm saying?
And when they're making noise,
I don't have these questions. I don't have this information.
What kind of noise is it?
Well,
is that going on all the time? Like,
I don't know. It could be a party.
We could be the noisy ones, so maybe that's why I don't mind.
Because
I have musicians in here. I got the pit bull. My cat, she meows. Like, it's a lot of us in here. We got a lot of noise, so I don't mind.
And that's beautiful if that's what's going on. But if the noise is that there's always chaos and people fighting and people.
Yeah, that's not.
I don't know if I want to be in the middle of that.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm with you there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. This has been so much fun, and I think it's been very, very informative.
Yes.
For everybody that will hear it, I think they will be able to gain something from this conversation. So thank you so much for your time that you gave us today.
Yes. Do you have any closing thoughts for us?
No, I love you ladies. I'm so proud of the work that you do at work, and I'm very proud of what you're doing here, educating the people. I really believe that our liberation as the Black community and as a people is going to come from our education. Right. So absolutely. What you all are doing is very important work, and it's fun, and it's in a format that's going to engage. So I love what you're doing. Please keep up the amazing work, and I want a shirt.
Absolutely. Yes. I do have one last question. How can people find out about your programs?
Oh, wow. So
to look into it, how can they find out?
Yeah, so our office has a website. It's Portsmouth CWA I can't remember whether it's .com or .org.
We'll put it down.
We'll put it down there.
Commonwealth Attorney's Office, our website will come up, and we have a section that has our programs that you can click on. There's an email address that you can be added on, because for our Future Leaders Initiative, we have young people from elementary school all the way through postgraduate studies. So we have law students, college students, high school, middle school, elementary school. And then for our Control Alt Delete program, everything has changed right now because of COVID-19 and having to move to the virtual format. So we haven't been able to be as active with that, but we are still assisting in whatever way that we can. So people can go to the website, find the email address, and this is staffed by us. This is staffed by myself and my attorneys and the members of my office. We don't have any special funding. We don't have any special grants. We're doing this because we care. So, you know, you will, when we get engaged with somebody, it's going to be with members of the office. So they are more than welcome to visit the website. And then, you know, as far as the book, again, just enter in Google or Amazon search The Day I Became a Lawyer, and it'll pop right up.
Awesome. You heard it here with Portsmouth Commonwealth attorney Stephanie Morales.
Woo!
Yes. So y'all don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Like this video. We had fun today. This was an amazing conversation. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. So on that note, remember, life doesn't have to be this or that. It should be this and that.
Bye. Adios, Stephanie.
Thank you.